Hello and welcome to the Real Estate Regroup Show. I am your host, LJ Walker, a real estate investor helping you realize your dreams of owning a home or investing in one. Well, today I want to address managing expectations. Many of us, this virus hit us unexpectedly. Very few of us knew about it or even anticipated it, particularly those of us who are not in the medical field or on any of these world organizations that monitor disease. We were not ready, okay? We did not expect this virus to shut the whole world down for a certain period of time. And we definitely did not anticipate its effect on real estate. When it first came, many of us believe that, well, real estate is going to go into the toilet. Well, lo and behold, eventually we realized there was actually hope. And what happened? Many markets that never experienced appreciation, all of a sudden, the values of their homes started going up. And the markets that used to or were used to experiencing appreciation, their markets actually went down in the opposite direction for a certain period of time. I'm not sure right now when it comes to California and Illinois, but I know that New York for certain has turned around, flipped, and has gone crazy, has gone up during this particular point in time. Okay, so yes, there you have to, in many cases, just be careful in what you expect. As a matter of fact, it's best to have low expectations, not just in real estate, but even to a certain extent with people as well. Because, see, a lot of our disappointments and misunderstandings happen and are due because of unmatched expectations. As a buyer, as a purchaser of property, even as a real estate investor, someone who owns one property but wants to own more, there are things that you need to understand that you should never assume. Never assume that what you see is what you're going to get. You have to ask, does the washing machine, dishwasher, refrigerator, and stove come with the house? Because it might not. The seller, you come into the home, look at it during open house, and the seller sometimes they forget to let you know that no, these things don't come with it, and you don't find out until the closing table. Okay, so this is why you need to ask before you actually buy. Even the furniture. There are people that sometimes they want the furniture that's in the home. You need to ask because sometimes most of the time that furniture belongs to the seller. There have been a few cases where the seller will rent the furniture out because they're staging the home to make it look more attractive. Okay, so never assume that what you see is what you're actually going to get. And for those of you who are purchasing in other countries, do you know that sometimes the water doesn't even come with the house? So again, that's why you have to ask. Another thing that you have to do is you have to do a final walkthrough. You have to, before you close on that property, walk through that property and make sure that everything that you want to be in the house stays in the house. I mentioned this before, but there was a home that I was going to invest in several years back, and I was told that it was a 3-family home. However, when I call the inspector says, look, I only check for certain things. You as a homeowner, you need to check for other things. Some of these 3-family homes are really 1-family homes that people cut up, but they don't tell you. right? So he told me to call several different departments. One of the departments that I called was the water department. And the water department was like, well, excuse me, this is not a 3-family house. This is actually a 1-family house. And one of the reasons why I called the water department was because I saw only 2 water meters. If it's a 3-family house, it should have 3 water meters, not 2. They came in and they took away 1. Okay. So right there, being a little bit inexperienced, I wanted to back out of the deal, right? The realtor was giving me a hard time, but because I am with Legal Shield said that as is means that the house has to be as is on the day that you first see it. If after the first day you don't see the property, that changes are made to the property, then you really should back out of the deal. Or if anything else, renegotiate. But they basically told me that I should back out of the deal because the realtor should have known, should have been upfront with me, and she was not. Therefore, they said that they did not trust her, but it was up to me whether or not I wanted to move forward with that or not. Here's another thing that I did too. And I was lucky because it was an as-is purchase. In the offering agreement, when you are making an offer, you typically put down a sizable amount to secure that offering agreement, to let the people know that you are in good faith and that you can definitely afford this property. I put down a rather large amount and didn't read and check to make sure that it said that the deposit was refundable. Refundable was not in the document. Okay, so going forward, always make sure that in the offering agreement that you say that it's refundable. As a matter of fact, you can also make that a contingency as to not move forward with the purchase. But because this was an as-is deal and because things changed on the property before closing, according to Florida law at that particular time, I was entitled to all of my money back. And I did get all of my money back. Okay, so just keep that in mind. The offering contract should have a refundable deposit, and there should be a contingency stating that if anything in the property changes before you get to the closing table, you have the right to either back out of the deal or to get your money back. This is only true when it's an as-is deal. But see, here's the thing with as-is. Once you're at that closing table and you make those payments, you can't go back afterwards and fight them on anything. You can only fight back before you get to the closing table. I need you guys to get this, and I need you guys to understand this, because everybody is not truthful in this particular business. And then some people may be truthful, but they don't know the law. The laws do change, and they're not always quick, or they're not always up to snuff on the current situation going on in their industry. But you are responsible, and you have to be up on snuff. And if you're not up on it, at least get a legal insurance such as prepaid Legal Shield to help you out with this. All right. The next thing that you need to know is, when those of you who are buying co-ops and condos, you need to find out, you need to read in their contract, you need to get a copy of the board minutes. You need to speak to that board, and you need to find out what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. You see, some people, they will go and they will buy an apartment But then after they move in, they find out, oh, wait a minute, I can't sublet it. Oh, wait a minute, I can't do short-term rentals here. Oh, wait a minute, I have to live in this apartment. There are some co-ops and condos where if you're an investor, you're not allowed in there unless you're going to actually live there. So you have to read over those things. Don't assume that it's okay for you to do things like that. It may not be okay for you to do it. It may not be okay for you to turn even half of the apartment into an Airbnb. You have to find that information out. Same thing holds true with townhomes. Some townhomes don't allow Airbnb either. Don't make the assumption that this is something that you can do in order to make money. As a matter of fact, with townhomes, some townhomes won't allow you to do certain things such as put an awning over the door and windows. Some of them won't allow you to change the color of your door or the window trim. So again, don't make any assumptions that, this is mine. I paid all this money for it, so I can do whatever it is that I want to do. No, that's not the case in all situations. So you need to ask, okay? And I know you don't know what you don't know, but now I'm telling you, you need to ask those questions before you close. All right. Now, I'm going to go a little bit further. As some of you know, I want to teach courses on real estate. I went into contract with someone and I had certain expectations. However, what I failed to do is write my expectations down on paper. Okay? I assumed that when I said I want someone to help me with marketing, that it included all marketing. I didn't realize that it was only a certain sector of social media marketing. I didn't know that email management or email marketing was not included. I thought that it was all the same. And I made also some other assumptions when it came to YouTube as well. So I was a little disappointed when I found out that no, they're not the same. So those of you who may be interested in designing courses or just you're in business for yourself, one of the learning hurdles that you may run into, especially when you hire a consultant, is that sometimes our expectations don't match up. So what I'm advising you to do is to be very descriptive in outlining what it is that you want so that, and then find a consultant that will match it. Sometimes they may have different packages, but just find out, okay, which package matches us best, and does that package fulfill all of my expectations, or will I have to pay extra? You understand? So again, unmatched expectations can lead to disappointments. And right now, I am feeling somewhat disappointed with what I had promised you guys earlier, and also what I wanted to bring forth to share. The other thing too that I want to let you know what's going around, to be very careful of, is that sometimes people will change the contract on you, meaning they'll promise certain things and they'll write it down on paper, and you have the right to expect that everything that's written down you will get. However, sometimes when your work ethic and their work ethic doesn't match, they want to change in the middle. A contract cannot be changed unless two people agree for it to be changed. Okay? Even if a contract says that the money that you pay is not refundable, if that person, for whatever reason, decides that they don't want to work with you anymore and that they decide that they're not going to give you what is written down on paper, as long as you paid with a credit card, I want you to know that you can go to your bank and you can file a claim against that person, and your bank will portion out a particular amount of money and give it to you, even though that contract says that the money you paid is non-refundable. Because it's only non-refundable if they actually do everything that they have written on paper. Once they decide that they are not going to deliver everything on paper, then you can definitely go to your bank, especially if you paid with a credit card, and you can get your money back. You may not get all of it back, but you may get, let's say, a portion. And again, yes, you can go to Legal Shield. Legal Shield is in all 50 states, and you can discuss with them. They can take you to the appropriate lawyer, depending on where the contract was created. And you can still, you may still get your money back, depending on, your situation and what have you. In my case, yes, I can get and will get my money back for the situation that I am in. So guys, please heed what I am saying. Particularly, this message goes out many of you who are first-time home buyers, first-time investors, because sometimes you get so excited that you overlook things that you shouldn't. Okay? And then also for those of you who are also rather new in business, because yes, I've been in business 7 years, but as far as creating courses, this is my first time. This is my first time dealing with a consultant. So, there's a lot of new things that have come about, and I just wanted to share that with you guys, because I know that some of you may have expected me to have certain things finished by now, and unfortunately it is not, and I'd like to apologize to you guys for that right now. Anyway, please feel free to share this amongst your friends. Remember, each one, reach one, teach one. Bye for now. Until next time, have a good night.